All right. We're good.
Okay. I think he's getting a light. If he has questions, be on that side of the spreadsheet. I think we're good without light.
Oh, shoot. I'm here now. Too bad. Okay. Let's get started. Same thing as always. State your name, your title, and we'll start with a quick little update. How have things been?
Jimmy Holt, JIMMY, County Ranger, Guilford County, North Carolina Forestry Service, acting PIO on the Sauratown Mountain Fire. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to operational period day 4 on the Sauratown Mountain Fire. Obviously, things look dramatically different up there on the mountain than what they did yesterday. We probably got about 2 inches of rain on the fire yesterday, and last night it could not have come at a better time. The good Lord was wonderful us to bringing us this rain. The fire definitely had us on our heels until the rain arrived. We feel like we have a much better control of things today. A lot of good work has been done. Folks have already engaged up on the mountain first thing this morning. We did have night operations up there last night. Monitoring and patrolling throughout the night. We have released the structural firefighters, just Forest Service personnel from North Carolina and also Forest Service personnel from out of state engaged up there this morning, around roughly 90 to 100 firefighters up on the mountain this morning. We've got the resources. Weather's in our favor today. Humidity is in our favor, should be in the 50% area. We do have some gusty winds, 25-mile-an-hour winds that are forecast for today. A lot of good work to be done up there before we leave this fire. I did have some information yesterday that came in this morning as far as the burnout operation goes. Crews the other night were successfully able to bring fire down the mountain right here. Unfortunately, we did start picking up some rain, so the burning operation did have to stop at this point. So we do have some areas that we are interested when drying occurs and finishing out a firing operation. There's a lot of work to be done on the western end and that northern horn as well. This area has not had fire in it in probably 25 to 30 years, so there's a lot more material, a lot more organic soil, a lot more duff there. Firefighters were reporting open flame yesterday afternoon in stump holes 4 to 5 feet high, even with all the rain that we've had. We usually don't talk in terms of how much fire is extinguished, but one thing to think about is even if 80 or 90% of the fire has been extinguished by the rain, the fire is perimeter 750 acres. 10% of 750 acres is a lot of heat out there, so there's a lot of work to be done. And they're out there working on these areas today. They're going to be looking at snags and improving some line. They'll be finishing up some line right in here with hand line that the dozer was unable to complete due to the steepness of that terrain. And they'll just be working these areas and also the northern horn today.
Sauratown Mountain Road, left it out of the areas. That spot's looking pretty good.
That spot is looking really good up there, and once again, we believe all homeowners have returned to those homes, but personnel will be there staged as well today.
How much would you say is contained now?
We're still going with about 40%, 41% containment. My guess is we'll see improvement there, this afternoon, and the rain stopped the forward progression of the fire, so 750 acres are what we're sticking with right now.
Any update on maybe when this might end?
Operation section will meet throughout the day today. I think within the next 24 to 48 hour time period, probably more to the 48 time period, you'll see possibly some significant adjustments in staffing at that point.
And you did say that crews will be working through the holiday. Is that still the case?
That is still the case. Mm-hmm.
And now that the rain has passed through, can you talk about what the conditions are on the ground and what kind of challenges that create for your?
Yes, thank you for asking that. That's very treacherous, slick conditions since things are so wet out there, so rocky. Predominant trees that are out there are chestnut oaks, big leaves. They drop those leaves on rocks with a moisture content that's almost like ice. Very slippery conditions, very hazardous for trip, slips, and falls. Blown out ankles and knees as well.
So far, there have not been any issues?
No injuries have been reported, no damages at this time.
Go ahead.
What about visibility? Like, is fog and all that still an issue? Or?
Visibility was very poor. The night operations reported last night almost zero visibility up there. I do believe things have improved a lot this morning with the lack of smoke and fog.
Looks can be deceiving. Looking at the mountain right now, it looks like it would look almost any other time. That could change as the day goes on.
Absolutely. With the rain that continued through the night, with the humidity around 100%, everything is very dormant up there right now. But as things begin to dry out later on in the day, we'll see smoke, we'll see steam, we'll see some increased activity, and that'll give us the opportunity, firefighters, to hone in on what areas need the work. We also have tools as far as infrared flights that we can do as well that can help hone in on those areas that need attention.
Moving of crews, like you said, you sent the structural firefighters home. That's fantastic state. Does that let you free up other crews to hit these more at-risk areas a little harder?
Yeah, we do have the resources here, and even though we feel like we've got really good control and we've gained really good ground, we want to utilize those resources while we have them. As far as wildfires go, the focus throughout North Carolina is on the Sauratown Mountain Fire right now. So while we have those folks right here, we do want to get in there and make sure we mop this thing up 50 feet in off of the perimeter and make sure all of those snags that have that potential to fall across the line or cast a burning ember across the line are taken care of before we leave this fire.
I know Governor Cooper is planning on coming today. Any thoughts on that? How is your staff going to be reacting?
It's just another day for us here. A lot of work to be done. We're thrilled the governor's going to be here, but we'll make adjustments and accommodate for the governor. But we've still got a lot of work to do.
When I look at the mountain, I don't see any flames anymore. Can you talk to me maybe about what your concerns are, even if it's not maybe visible to us looking at it?
Well, around the perimeter was where the heat is at, and that's what poses the most threat as far as escape fires. And we have to remember that sometime Saturday, this was a very small fire, before it was called in, probably somewhere around a 2x2 area, and then within several days it's 750 acres. So just one ember can grow and cause a lot of problems, as we can imagine. So if we have to get out there and continue to patrol and work and mop up those perimeters and make sure everything's extinguished, because any little stump hole has the potential to cast embers and cause another wildfire.
And you said the heat. So walk us through how firefighters are talking about that. What sort of degrees? So is that 100-degree heat? 200? Is it that impactful?
Well, it's some of those, those pockets where all of that heat is, 1,000+ degrees. It can get that way. We have to be very careful about some of these stump holes that firefighters won't step in those, and could wind up as a burn. Just depending on the depth of those holes and how much hot ash that there is in there.
But firefighters are safe. No injuries.
No injuries have been reported so far.
And then I just highlight, this is the only bit of rain we're getting for a little while. Is there any worry that come a week from now, when it's dried back out, maybe not for this mountain, but just in general, you guys going to be keeping an eye on things?
Absolutely. Because that's why we're taking the measures that we are over the next couple of days, even though you're not seeing any smoke from here. So we're going to be here even when this incident starts downsizing, and at some point we'll hand that back over to Stokes County, North Carolina Forestry Service, and they will be checking it on a daily basis once that time comes.
You said those that live on the mountain. What about the youth camp mountain? Are they back too, like the staff there? Or?
I'm not sure about the staffing at this point, but all evacuations have been lifted.
And the priorities are still containment and civilian safety, like how it was Monday?
Yeah, firefighter safety, civilian safety, and then structural protection are always our priorities.
You said something about IR flights. Is that drones, or will there still be aviation
There,
resources?
we still have aviation available that can do those IR flights and focus in on those areas that that where there's a lot of heat and a lot of pockets. And that's once again that's primarily going to be on the northern and the western perimeter that has not had fire in those areas in years.
So you still have a ban on anybody like flying private drones or whatever?
Yes, we do. Yep.
You mentioned not seeing fire in a long time. This is the fire. What do you think? Will there be any plans to sort of future-proof the area so we're not coming back here in 6 months, 2 years for another fire?
That's a good question. With the technology we have these days, there'll be a lot of intricate mapping that takes place, coordinates that are taken on dozer line, on hand line. This time around, we had to send scouts in there and scout that old line out where there was once fire line, whether it be hand line or dozer line. After years of leaf fall and organic material building up, tornadic material, trees coming down covering up those lines, they're hard to identify. With good mapping technology these days, all that will be taken into account for the next time, whenever that may be, we're back here again.
Is leaf fall still an issue?
Yes, it is. Very much an issue still.
Investigators. We're still in, you still got your teams out working. When do you think, if there's possible, that your investigators will be able to get in and start finding the root cause?
Law enforcement, I'm sure, are engaged at this time, and the investigation is ongoing that they're doing, and that has to do with cause and origin and any law enforcement that's necessary.
All right, anything else you'd like to add?
No, I can't think of anything unless you all have more questions.
We're all set.
We're still at 758.
750 acres and 41% containment. So we do expect maybe by later on today another announcement regarding containment. Okay,
Good.
thank you all very much. So, are you all going to get